All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to this King's problem we're working at. Now, I know this is a big packet you have in front of you, but what I want you to do is see that at the top it says King's problem 1, King's problem 2, and King's problem 3. Okay. So everybody sees that? King's problem 1, King's problem 2, King's problem 3. And then the last page, it should say summary sheet, King's problem summary sheet. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We've got, all right, so Nia and Steven, I'm going to move your seats again. I know it's crazy talk. Nia, can you move right here for this group project? And Steven, can you sit next to Hunter for this group project, please? Okay, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So you're not going to do all of these problems. You're eventually going to fill out this whole packet, but what's going to happen is you're going to work on either problem 1, 2, or 3 today and tomorrow. Today you're going to finish it up as much as you can. Whatever you don't finish, you've got to divide up and decide what you're doing for homework. And when you come in tomorrow, you're going to write all of this out on a big piece of paper and then kind of talk about it. We're going to talk about each one as a class. You won't have to like stand up in front and do a little presentation thing, but you'll have it up in front of you in your group. Everybody will talk about it, said what they wrote on the paper and how they figured out the problem. Does that kind of make sense? It is worth, this like project is worth 20 points. Okay, so that's quite a bit because most of my homework assignments are only worth 1. So this is worth 20 points. It's 2-day in class and homework. Okay, so we're going to have you guys do problem 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. So you should write down at the top or figure out which one I just said. Okay, now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to read the first problem to kind of explain what we're doing. One day in an ancient kingdom of Chocolata, a peasant saved the life of a king's daughter. The king was so grateful that he told the peasant she could have any reward she desired. The peasant, a wonderful, intelligent woman named the Murphy, made an unusual request. I would like you to place 1 penny on the first square of a chessboard, 2 pennies on the second square, 4 on the third, 8 on the fourth, and until you have covered all 64 squares. Each square should have twice as many pennies as the previous square. The king replied, "Pennies are the least valuable coin in the kingdom. Surely you can think of a better reward." But the Murphy insisted, so the king agreed to her request. So the first thing you're going to do is make a prediction on how many the Murphy will get on the last day. Okay. Then you're going to fill out the chessboard from 1 through 16. You're going to say, how does the number of pennies change from one day to the next? How many pennies on the last day? Was your prediction correct? Will the king ever hit 1 million pennies and win? If you are graphing days 1 through 10, what is the lowest y value you have to graph? What is the highest y value? And what should your scale be? And then you're going to graph it. And then you're going to tell me, how is the change in the number of pennies shown on the graph? Okay? So problem number 2 is only different in that instead of going from 1 to 2 pennies, it goes from 1 penny on the first square, 3 pennies on the second, 9 on the third, 27 on the fourth, until you have covered 16 squares. Okay. So instead of 64, you're just covering 16. Okay. But it goes from 1 to 3 to 27, and so 1, 3, 9, 27. Okay, the next one, if your problem number 3, The difference is you go 1 to 4 to 16, and you only have to cover 12 squares. But you do have to graph them and do the same process. Okay? Tomorrow, before we leave, you will be filling out this whole packet. People will be presenting and you'll be writing it in. And you will fill out the summary sheet. Okay? So I'm going to give you the rest of the hour to get started on this. You have your whole group to talk to. Please use them. Miss Parmalee and I will be walking around to see what we can help you with.